Hit me.
Best travel spots? Travel banter tips?
I don't know what travel banter is. Travel spots, it's hard to say an individual spot. Southeast Asia is a good area because it's cheap and there's a lot of good sick shit to see and do, like nature wise. But overall I would say that enjoyment and experience comes from experiencing the difference in places and how things compare relatively to each other. So it's hard to say a specific spot is best, because it's good getting to a new place and going, wow, this is fucking way different than the last place I was. That's cool.
How do you reverse diet, bro?
I don't really do a long drawn out reverse diet because I don't believe it's necessary. I go back up to maintenance in about 2 jumps just to kind of really retest where maintenance is. Give it a couple of weeks before increasing again.
Ever looked into flat earth? Because it's flat, you know.
No, it's not flat, mate. Soz.
Any plans to visit New York?
October this year.
Expectations of lean muscle mass to be gained over a certain period of time. We have to specify the period of time.
Well, that depends on the period of time. It depends on your training age. It depends on the quality of your training and nutrition. It depends on how much fucking sleep you're getting, how old you are, your gender. It depends on a lot of things, it's hard to say. Also your genetics.
When did you switch to a push-pull legs routine, and how much has it benefited you better than doing a single body part routine?
I switched in late 2014, and it's impossible for me to put a quantitative figure on how much it benefited me. It benefited me a fair bit, I would say.
The same person also wants to know, and his girlfriend wants to know as well, who are the lads in the outro of your video?
The lads in the outro of my video are, I think they're a couple of German lads, and randomly they just sent me that video on Instagram one day, and I was like, bro, I am using this as my outro. So I did, and that's the story.
How did you and Rob meet?
He was a fan of Delro's page and sent us a picture with Delro's tattooed on his chest. Not actually tattooed, but just written on his chest while he was at a party one time.
Also, is there any chance of you becoming an Alpha Elite athlete?
I would say probably a very slim chance. But I'm not saying that like I actually mean that literally, like a very slim chance.
Who's the biggest fake natty in the industry besides
Elder Bro?
Mike.
Oh, he said you as well. The biggest fake natty in the what do you mean biggest? Like biggest?
The highest amount of fake.
Fakest natty.
Fakest natty.
Oh man, it'd be interesting for me to actually say someone here, wouldn't it? Be interesting for me to like not skirt around it. Who do I think is a fake? I think the thing is, I'm quite optimistic about fake natties because I've experienced and met many people on and off gear, and I have seen firsthand.
Well, you've met them while you've been on gear. Off gear.
I've seen firsthand the impact of genetics, and people get mad when you mention genetics because they go, "Oh, genetics can only account for so much," but you have to experience it, man. You have to know somebody with sick genetics to understand how much of an impact it can make. And so I'm quite optimistic about most people, apart from the obvious ones. There's the obvious ones like Mike O'Hearn and Simeon Panda and Ulysses and basically all the fucking everyone who competes in Musclemania and says the natty is basically a fake natty, you know, but they're all the obvious ones. There's nothing controversial there. Aside from that, like most people, I believe Ogus is natty, I believe Jeff Nipper's natty, I believe obviously Alberto Nunez, I believe Rob Marine. I believe most people who say they're natty are natty. Now, there might be the odd. So in terms of the Jersey Jewish, the Jersey Jewish gang, the Jersey Juice gang, it is hard for me to say, man, because if I was looking at David Lade, I would say, initially, I would say I actually believe he's natty. Like, I know he's got sick numbers, he's in fucking ruthless shape, but he chooses what pictures to upload. Do you know what I mean? He looks insane in some of his Instagram pictures, but he chooses what to upload, and I'm sure he can manipulate it however he wants. And also, I've seen videos of him deadlifting like crazy amounts when he was like 17, clearly like natty. It's just hard. Also, he seems like a proper little fucking nice boy, man. I can't imagine him doing gear. But then again, you think, well, some of his mates, I reckon Ryan Casey's on juice pretty much, like almost certainly, because his dad obviously is, and you know, but then again, it's like saying, you don't want to say just because one person is, the other is, but your dad is one of your main role models, man. Yeah, and if your dad's juicy, chances are you're going to be juicy. Also, because he was like behind the rest of them, which he should have just been like, well, right, I'm younger, or started later, or whatever. But I do think he's juicy. The other ones, Dylan McKenna and Quinn Vitale, like I don't know them well enough. I haven't followed the shit closely enough to even pass judgment, man. It's hard to say. I rambled a lot about fake natties then, but fuck knows, mate. The truth is, like, you can never know, man. But I would rather try and judge based off someone's character than random, you know, than other like points,
like fullness,
like fucking shit that doesn't mean anything, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Really.
What I do hate is he makes a living off anyone who makes a living off their body must be on gear. Well, that's just complete bullshit, man. If I was gonna get on gear because I thought, oh, I'll be able to make more money there, I'd be ashamed of myself because I thought, what? You can't make enough money. Like you don't have the fucking mental capacity to make enough money now. That's shameful, man. You should be ashamed of yourself because you can't actively participate in society, make enough money to have a good life without putting fucking drugs into yourself. Anyway, around on way too long. Let's go to the next one.
Joey D, what are some words of wisdom related to YouTube? I guess that's a way of saying how do you make it on YouTube?
Is that the last bagel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom relating to YouTube. I don't know. I'm a shit YouTuber, mate. I'm not the best one because, yeah, go ahead. I'll have some. I'm not the best YouTuber. I'm not the blueprint. Like, you need to ask Rob or Goomer. You know, I'm not even gonna pretend to know.
What's the key to staying dedicated / motivated? The one key.
You stay interested, man. I don't struggle with motivation. I don't struggle with thinking, oh, what's gonna motivate me. I struggle with thinking, what's gonna interest me. What's gonna keep me wanting it. Do you know what I mean? That's the harder thing. Because where do you get your satisfaction from? Wherever, and if you can find that thing, then you'll be motivated for it.
Would you do more TV appearances?
Yeah.
Big Brother?
Yeah, I do Big Brother. Yeah. I do something like that was more you get a chance to actually be who you are and not just fucking, drama, someone's fighting, someone's got his dick out. Like, I do shit where I do something if I thought that I had a chance to actually show who I am. Like, I've had other TV shit come at me since then, and stuff that I've then later seen other people on, and I've just been like, nah, I just don't. I'm not gonna do something if I'm just gonna get pimped out and made to be a fucking tool, mate, because that's what it is, man.
Biggest pet peeve?
Walking into a burp.
Biggest turn off in a girl? Thinking that they're
just like a sense of entitlement, man.
Yeah.
Like that used to fuck me off, man. I used to be like, just because you own a vagina, you possess one. It doesn't make you fuck all, man. But it's because a lot of lads will just chase birds based on that. They don't require anything from birds. Birds get this sense of like, I'm the prize.
Yeah.
I'm the one who this guy needs to like work for. He's so lucky to have me. I hate when lads say they're lucky to have a girlfriend.
There's a big narrative behind that as well.
Don't stop like acting like you're getting hand me outs, man. It's just a bad dynamic, mate. You know what I mean?
You screwed
like,
from the start.
Like a sense of entitlement, definitely, and like, you know,
yeah,
that whole kind of idea that they don't really have to bring anything they don't have to bring anything to the table. They don't have to be anything other than attractive. Well, you fucking do, man. You know what I mean? You have to be a person with fucking levels to you, right?
Doing any bits in Scotland soon?
you know what, I thought about a little trip up to like Glasgow or something.
I was going to say that the other day.
A while back I said that I'd go to Glasgow and I never did, so I feel like I owe Glasgow a trip, mate.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Glasgow.
Glasgow. Where did you get a design for your forearm tattoo?
I drew it. I knew I wanted something to do with like travel. I knew I also liked geometric shit, so I typed into Google geometric globe, and then I ended up getting some weird picture that wasn't ever meant to be a tattoo, and I traced it and then put some other lines and shit around it, and that was it.
Do you ever miss a 9-to-5 lifestyle, or rather a fixed everyday routine like the one you had at the bank?
No, even now sometimes I feel like my life is too routine, and this year you will see me taking steps to become less routine, motherfucker, because routine is just always on my tail, man. It's what creases me, it's what routine, I just feel like it's this big, like some people are fine with it, some people thrive in routine. I am the opposite because I hate predictability. I hate anything that I hate having the same conversation twice. Years ago I used to work part-time in a pub while I was at uni. Mate, if you've experienced pub talk, it's like there's like 4 conversations that ever happen in any pub anywhere for the whole duration of time, and it's just the same convo over and over, or the same words, the same phrases. The predictability of it absolutely just saps the life out of me, and so no, I don't miss it. I understand how some people might like it, but it is not for me, man. I like chaos, man.
You talked about always chasing after something like the perfect physique is a never-ending goal. What are the top ways you found to enjoy the journey?
That's one of those things where it's a question that sounds like a legit question, but it's something that is maybe thinking a bit too much, man. I don't think about a method of how I'm going to enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? Concentrate on the basics, like actually enjoying life, like actually enjoying like the next 20 minutes, man. Like that's what I do, because, and some people would say like you need to plan for the future, and that obviously you do, but it's not that black and white, is it? It's not like saying you either live hedonistically or with a 10-year plan. It's not that black and white. Obviously there are degrees and yeah, but I don't think about it that deeply. I just think about what's gonna keep me entertained, keep me happy for the next 20 minutes, man.
Did you drop Machine, or did they drop you, and why?
I decided to no longer participate. I felt there was no bad, malicious, nothing bad whatsoever. They were always sound to me and always treated me fairly. I felt like their stuff was no longer in line with my particular style, and therefore it's hard to endorse it authentically.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, that's just the massive broad question. I haven't got a fucking clue,
Stay
mate.
alive.
My plan, like I won't stop YouTube till I've peaked, and believe me, I have not peaked, not by a fucking country mile, man. And I'm just making plans, man, to sort it out and to make sure that I can actually get there and do some epic fucking shit and make some sick videos before I bow out, man. So that won't be for a while, so don't worry.
Changes that came with fame?
I am not famous, mate. I don't fucking know nothing. More people call you a dickhead on Twitter, man. That's it.
Favourite movie?
Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Just kidding, but it is sick because he smashes 2 birds. Like a relationship, like not just smashes 2 birds. Everyone smashes 2 birds, but I mean like relationship.
What's one quality you could change in someone else and or yourself?
So like critical of yourself. Like I don't know what. Obviously, there's things about me that could be better, man. There's probably a lot of things, but maybe I'm like sometimes I'm.
Dickhead.
Yeah, I'm a bit obnoxious sometimes, man. Like I go through. Obviously, you have different states of mind, man. You're not just a person, right? You don't just have this set. Otherwise, you'd just be an algorithm, man. If in every situation, if your brain could get mapped and then they could decide how you're gonna respond in every situation, then you'd just be an algorithm, man. You'd just be a robot. Now you go through what time of day it is, what time of year it is, what else has happened. You go through moods and different states of mind, man. And there's times when I feel very empathetic towards other people, and there's times when I'm probably less empathetic and more harsh and more fucking arrogant and self-centered. And I honestly do think there's a balance between those, because you have to try and be empathetic whilst also to a point putting yourself first, man. And again, it's not black and white, and it's not like it's not just one thing, one reaction fits all situations. It doesn't. You have to, this is the independent judgment, man. It's where you have to deal with the ambiguity and judge life on a case by case basis. But I would probably say that if I could increase the amount of times I'm feeling empathetically towards other people, that would be better, because I do have those moments, but sometimes I do also find that I can be quite like, fuck them, let's go fucking do what we're gonna do. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck this cunt, I'm cutting in.
If you could have anyone on your podcast, who would it be?
Holy motherfucking shit, man. Probably my mum. That'd be sick. You would learn shit from my mum, man.
Even though I'm not even close to achieving a level of productivity I am capable of, I find myself still coasting through life without stepping out of my comfort zone. Even though I know this is going to have a negative effect on my future, I'm still doing nothing about it. How can I snap out of this? Jump out of the plane.
Well, that's just this classic happening to me attitude. This is like, I don't like when people talk about how they are acting as if they're observing themselves, as if they're watching themselves do this. Like, stop being a passenger in your own fucking mind, man. Be the driver. Like, if you say shit like, oh, I'm doing this, that's because you're doing this. You know, if I sit here and I go, oh, do you know what, I've been really unmotivated, I stopped going to the gym. Like, I'm talking about it as if something that randomly happened to me. I stopped, man. I have to take responsibility, don't you? I mean, obviously everyone can push themselves a bit more and try and be more productive and stuff, you know, and I'm certainly not the king of that, man. It depends where your priorities lie, I suppose, but, you know, the first thing is just to take fucking responsibility, and then the second thing, if you can't be responsible for yourself, be responsible to other people. So you have to find ways for other people to hold you accountable.
Are you sponsored by Rise?
No, but they did send me some shit, so appreciate it. I feel like I should also say cheers to Alpha Leaf for sending me some shit, if I'm going to do that. If I'm going to say thanks to everyone who sent me shit, then thanks to Alpha Leaf as well, and Rise.
Do you stay a shredded lad all year long, or plan to be a bulking lad soon?
People think that I'm shredded all year, but I am not, man. Like, my scales, I've been stood on them in plenty of videos where I'm like 15% body fat, and yes, they might not be accurate, but you can't just say, oh no, you're actually 10%. Like, this is a scale, and your objective view does not outweigh it, man. Somebody's designed these scales, man. They're probably better than our, you know, visual perception of what body fat someone is at. And like, even if they're out a bit, then I'm like, what? I'd be like, what, 12, like 13% body fat. That's not really shredded, man. Luckily, I hold a fair bit of fat on like my back, so I can still look fairly lean from the front. I also hold quite a lot on my legs, so I've literally never had shredded quads. And so I don't stay at a stupid level of leanness, man.
Are you interested in psychedelic?
What?
Psychedelic.
Psychedelic.
Are you interested in psychedelic drugs? Or is your brain already capable of understanding the intricate fabric of the universe at its most basic and complex levels?
I have no idea what's going on, man. And yeah, I would do psychedelics just for the fucking buzz. I do ayahuasca, or like DMT is the active shit in ayahuasca, in it. I do one of those, like, just because it's supposed to be sick, man. And like, but I'd need a referee. I wouldn't just chill it. Like, I wouldn't just do it in a mad circumstance. I'd need someone stood there like watching over me, making sure I don't like jump off the roof and shit.
At a young age, before fitness was business related, were you more motivated when single or with a bird? And what about now? Obviously having a bird will subdue that whole I want to get a better body to be more attractive idea. For example, now when you train for Ibiza and other halls, you are no longer training to appear more attractive to other birds, so is there still a petty motivation, or is that whole thing gone?
I stopped training for birds a long time ago. Way before I stopped being single, you know. That was probably the initial thing, man, but then that was only the thing when I had fuck all else about me. Do you know what I mean? That was only the thing that I thought about. when it was the only thing I felt I had to offer, man. But now I feel like it's just it's just the icing on the cake, mate. I feel like, you know, what I bring to the table is more than that, because deep down I feel like anyone's experience of life, any female's experience of life, if she goes through it with me, it's gonna be better, man. That's 100% what I feel, and hopefully vice versa, my experience will be better for them.
Have you always been popular with birds?
I don't really think I am that popular with birds, or have been. How do you define popular with birds? Because you can't. No one's just wakes up and they've got birds texting them. You have to get out there, get active, put yourself on the scene. You have to initiate all this shit, man. Like in school, like I've always managed to attract, you know, relevant company. I don't think that means no one. I don't think no one, you know, fuck knows. I don't think I'm naturally the most attractive lad in the world. Like, I think there's plenty of fucking people that are way better looking than me. So, whatever.
In your opinion, what is the best way to meet new people at uni and have better interactions with them?
Fuck knows, man. Join clubs, man. Join the Tiddlywinks clubs. I don't know. But yeah, you have to be in clubs and shit and like play sports, or I don't know, man. It's hard to just make friends by walking up to someone and going, hey, do you want to be mates? It's possible. Like Tinder's a good one because you can get mates if you play it right. You can just become mates with birds, and then you can just be mates with all their mates and shit. It's pretty sick.
Why aren't you too fussed about putting on more muscle, but you're more focused on just maintaining?
It's not that. It's not that I'm not forced. I'd put on a good 5 pounds of muscle if I felt like I could. But I just can't live the lifestyle that would allow me to do that at this point, because, I mean, maybe that's a fucking bullshit puss excuse, man. But right now, you know, I mean, I got a lot of travel plans and shit. It's hard for me to, you know, achieve the level of consistency with everything that would allow me to do that at this stage.
What are your top 3 made it moments in life so far?
I don't know, man. It's just, that's one. I was floating down a river in Laos in an inner tube the first time I went away traveling, and I was with my then newfound female acquaintance who I thought I was actually like besotted with. Turned out later I actually wasn't at all. I didn't even like her. No offense if she's watching. She's not watching. Another was a similar situation, actually. I don't know. Let me just say this: they've all come when I've been away traveling. Most of them.
Did you always have a carefree and open outlook towards life growing up, or was this something you developed over time due to certain influences?
I think certain influences. I think for a start, our parents are quite. My dad is very fucking working class. Get up and fucking do it, man. Just get up and do what you gotta do and don't complain about shit. And so from that side, I've got quite a what is, man, and you just deal with it and get on with it. So there's kind of no point being worried about things that just are. And also, I think traveling a lot, especially solo after uni and stuff on my own, that helped, man, because you can walk into a new weird alien place and you can think, shit, I could get abducted here. And I mean, I had some fucking weird ass close calls, man. Not with getting abducted, but possibly. And you have to go through situations that you are initially worried about or think that could go badly, and then bit by bit you realise that actually most of the time your shit turns out fine, man. Most of the time, most things just turn out fine. And like, sometimes they won't, but then it just is and you can't be mad about it.
Is regular change and progress in most aspects of life essential for happiness?
I think progress is, but how you measure progress can obviously differ, because it's hard to make progress in all aspects of life simultaneously. Like, you know, years and years ago I used to talk about life gains, muscle gains and financial gains, and they were even just 3 types of gains on the spectrum, man. And I used to talk about like trying to balance them and how it's hard to get all 3 at the same time. by life and life experience gains. But that's just a snippet of it. Like, there are so many different ways you can measure progress. Is it your contribution to people around you? Is it your understanding about the world? Is it your progress in terms of your actual projects, like the businesses you run or whatever? You know, is it having better relationships with people? Is it, you know, it can be so many fucking things, man. So, but I think it is essential. You need to be making progress in one way, but it's hard not to be making progress, at least understanding wise. If you're awake, like you're always learning about yourself and how your mind works, man, and that's a form of progress.
Are there days where you feel totally unmotivated to do anything productive, or are you just such a sick guy who makes every minute count?
I definitely do not make every minute count, man. But I don't think you have to. I think there are enough minutes to just make some of them count, man. Like, it's bullshit. If you think about the pressure that is on you to make every minute count, man. Do you know what? Sometimes I want to watch, like, bears attacking people, man. I want to sit down on the internet. I want to watch, like, horrific shit or, like, stupid shit or, you know, cats falling down the stairs, man. And am I gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't make that minute count, I'm such a fucking loser? What, like a self-defeating kind of idea, man. What's that gonna do to you, man? Just not, it's a thing that's just not useful to think, man. You don't have to make every minute count, but there are enough minutes to still get what you need to get done, you know, and get to where you wanna be. Now, how, the proportion of every minute, the proportion of all the minutes that you need to make count obviously differs on where you want to get to, man. You know, if you want to be the fucking best in the world at whatever, you probably don't have that many minutes to spare, you know. So, I don't know, but I never feel unmotivated. I never feel unmotivated, no. The times when I end up just not getting that much shit done, of course, but I never think like, oh, I never have like that kind of mindset, man. And I can't even remember at a time when I ever did, to be honest.
One place you are dying to visit?
Elysium. The Elysian Fields.
Realistic timeline for somebody cutting for the first time? £195 down to around 175-ish.
So £20 lost cutting for the first time, 12 to 16 weeks.
Any festivals you would like to visit in Ireland? Maybe Longitude. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
I heard about Longitude. I think Rob told me about it. Maybe I'll get there.
How to go over a break? I don't know what that means.
How to go over a break? I don't get it.
Get over a breakup? Pass. Or, I don't know.
How to get over a breakup? Get on the fucking wallet train, man.
Damage, man.
Start smashing shit up.
Start beating shit up, man. Planning a little Ibiza trip with mates this summer. Any recommendations, tips and tricks?
Nah, man. You have to just submit to Ibiza, man. You have to just let it take you. Let it take you where it takes you. Just get off the plane with an open mind, man. Be wary.
I love beetroot, so my question is, can we be mates?
Yes, best mates.
When did you start referring to yourself as a sick guy, and do you think you'll ever become sicker than right now?
Probably years and years ago, actually, but I think it caught on where I said it more often in a recent spate of videos or something, and then it just became a thing, man. All of a sudden it's now a thing, mate. Will I be a sicker guy than now? Obviously I say like, oh yeah, I'm a sick guy and that, but I'm just here, man. My potential is here. You know what I mean? And part of being sick, right, is believing that your potential is so high. So if you think that you're at your sickest, by definition, you're not sick because you don't believe in your potential to improve, man. Fuck, that was sick.
How to go about it when your girlfriend gets a sports scholarship in the USA, meaning she will only be back in Belgium for a total of 3 months a year?
Fuck me, if my girlfriend was going to be between the USA and Belgium, it means I wouldn't see her at all. Oh, is he in Belgium?
I guess
he's in Belgium. Yeah.
About 3 months a year bird.
3 months a year bird. That's not a bird, man.
That's a quarter of the year.
You have big heavy balls, mate.
How much time does your bird take up?
Balls like grapefruits.
Do you see it? I mean, that sounds like a sound ratio, man.
It's a good ratio. It's just not a good distribution.
It's not a good distribution. No, it's just going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if
How to go about it.
I mean, you have to have a long-term plan, man. If you're gonna move, if she's gonna be away for like 3 years or some shit, I would probably swerve it, man. I mean, I spoke to Mags about this. Like, if one of us was moving country for something, you have to have a long-term plan. Either the plan is the other one is gonna go there as well, or you swerve it. There's no point just dragging something out in the hopes that one day it might be better, man.
I know.
Just
no
just
point.
cut your losses. Fuck it off. Go approach the world with a new fucking.
Yeah. Do you need to bulk to get big?
We need to be in a surplus now. I'm not saying you need to dream a bulk or you need to even do prolonged bulks, but a good proportion of your time needs to be bulking. Now you could bulk for a month and cut for a week and just repeat, and you've never done a big, long, drawn out bulk, but you're still bulking for the majority of the time, and that's what you need to do to build muscle.
Who was your inspiration to start making sick gains?
Oh, Mike, elder bro.
How often should I increase calories during a bulk?
Whenever your weight gain slows down below a satisfactory rate or stops completely.
Why does my boyfriend love you more than he loves me?
Maybe you're a bitch.
At your most shredded, how much do you have to sacrifice food / social life / enjoyment of life?
Not that much, because I've never been that shredded. Like, yeah, I've taken pics of shredding that, but I've never been like contest prep lean, like contest lean. I've never had to sacrifice that much on, like, because I'm in no rush to cut as well. Because I never compete and stuff, it's not like I've got a date and I've got to be like, oh, I can't afford to do this. I'll just be like, I'm gonna eat out. Yeah, I'll eat out. I'll just push the cut back a few days. Sweet, easy.
What do you think about breaking up with someone after a serious relationship and going back to being friends?
I think it sounds like it was her idea and it's complete bullshit, and you should just cut it off and leave it. Because if a girl says to you she just wants to be friends now, what she's really doing is saying, I want to break up with you, but I'm trying to like cushion your fall in some kind of way, because I don't think that you have the fucking emotional
Robustness.
that's the exact word I was thinking of. The emotional robustness to deal with me breaking up with you. So I'll talk about us being friends and that, but really it means I don't want us to like, fuck anymore. There's no romantic element to it. Probably don't fancy you, don't admire you, don't respect you that much. It means that you've stopped being
sick.
You've probably stopped being sick, man. And I would like literally draw a line under it, thank her for her time, say see you later, reinvent yourself, become a sick fuck, get a sicker bird.
Favourite cereal price / taste?
I like Curiously Cinnamon. Oh, it's fucking next level, but the macros on it are atrocious. There's like 10 or 11 grams of fat per 100 grams, and no one can live with that shit, man.
Who's the stronger, Delbro?
Me.
Will you and Tommy B be going on any Ibiza trips this year, or are any other countries together? Or
I don't know, man. We planned a Stockholm, but that didn't happen. We were thinking about Vietnam towards the end of the year. I'm not sure if that will happen, but I will try. Like, yeah, maybe. Depends on. Hopefully, I don't think we'll end up doing Ibiza together, but who fucking knows, man.
Is it okay to bulk for like 2 to 3 months, then cut 2 to 4 weeks, and continuously do that all year in an effort to keep abs? I heard somewhere that switching from bulking to cutting too frequently will fuck up your hormones.
I think that's bullshit, man. If you heard somewhere, then the next step after hearing it somewhere would be find out where that information comes from, i.e. does it come from a credible source? Is there some kind of study or any kind of scientific theory that would point to this being the case, man? It sounds like bullshit to me.
Are you still reading much? Any recommendations lately?
Yeah, I am reading. I've got about 3 or 4 books on the go. What I'll do is I'll find some Amazon affiliate links. I'll link like a load of books in the description. So they will take you to my recommended reading list. Obviously, I will get some form of commission. I don't know. I'll probably get like half a penny, if that. So that's not really the point, man. If you can find them cheaper elsewhere, get them somewhere else. But they'll be linked in the description.
Do you ever regret staying natural?
Not fucking ever, mate. There's no. I think actually much more. I think you will meet a lot more people who got on gear and regret doing that, rather than the other way around.
Yeah. Favourite memory from Ibiza?
There's too many, man. There's too many just euphoric fucking moments. It's just, you can't do that. You can't just pick one, man. It's an insult to all the others if you just pick one.
Why don't you have a proper kettle?
Don't know, we just never bought one. To be honest, I think it's quite an eyesore. Like, our thing that we boil water in, it can just be banged on there and then put away. Whereas like a kettle, you have to like stick it on the side and it has to like live there. I just don't think a kettle is an attractive kitchen appliance. Same with toasters.
In what ways do your workouts change when you're cutting?
They don't. Your resistance part of your training should remain the same between cutting and bulking, pretty much, because the best way to retain muscle is to act as if you're trying to build it. And particularly in terms of like the actual transition from bulk to cut or vice versa, I would encourage you to at least keep your rep ranges the same over those few weeks so that you can like monitor strength over that period like more easily.
When's the next collaboration and with who?
No idea. It'd be Rob, but it's not really a collaboration, it's just two lads going to Thailand.
What's your opinion on intermittent fasting, and have you ever used it because you look lean as fuck?
I've never used it, but I think it's a perfectly adequate tool to use if you struggle to stick to your calories. I don't believe in all the other like purported benefits. I just think that it's just a way of managing it and helping you stick within your calories.
Planning interrailing at the moment, would you A, start in Berlin, or B, start at Tomorrowland in Belgium?
I would start in Berlin, because if you start at Tomorrowland, you're just going to be written off for the next you're going to be written off for a while after Tomorrowland. I imagine that gets pretty heavy, so it's just not, you don't want to be like chilling on trains for a long time after that.
Are there some special occasions where you don't talk in a monotone?
Nah. There's some special occasions when you leave funny comments, lad, or what?
How important
do you get funny? When do you get funny, man?
How important would you say cutting is within the first year of training / eating properly? Would it not be better to bulk for as long as you can? Take advantage of beginner gains for?
Probably, yeah. You probably shouldn't cut too early on. Quite important.
How do you get over the need of wanting to impress others?
I don't think you have to get over it. I mean, there should come a point when you value your own opinion over others. Like, that should be the main, but you're still allowed to value others. You know, I want to impress my mum. I want to sit down with man. I want to think, yeah, Joe's doing alright. That's fine, man. Some people matter. Some people's opinions matter. It's okay. Even opinions that don't matter. If it's motivation, it's motivation. It doesn't really matter as long as you know that when it all boils down to it, your own self-perception, how you see yourself, what you think of yourself and your opinions of yourself is the final say, man. That's the bottom line.
Is making it financially a major goal in life for you, or is there other things in life that motivate you more? If so, can you elaborate on these other forms of motivation?
Well, the thing is, making it financially, to me, that's just enough money to do stuff, man. And you can do stuff pretty cheap now. Like, the possibilities that are open to you on, like, relatively on a budget, it's quite a lot, man. And so I'm not asked about being fucking mega rich. I want enough money to eat some decent food, go on holiday, man. That's it, man. I don't give a fuck about expensive clothes. I don't give a fuck about expensive watches. I don't give a fuck about expensive cars, man. But I want to go places, and that means you need a certain amount of money, because traveling it's not free, man. You can do it cheaply, but you can't do it for free. And so that, to me, is financially making it. And then once you're at that level, which I am now, you have to look at other things, man. I'm not sure what those things are, man. There's a lot of ways that you can make it in it.
I'm coming into my 7th festival season. When I go to festivals, I always ensure lots of supplementation and cardio. But how do I safeguard my gains, as I never want to chug a shake or eat cardboardy protein bars? P.S. What festivals have you enjoyed
if you're not willing to drink a protein shake, then you don't deserve to keep your gains, mate. Sorry, mate. What? He's basically saying, is there anything that you can tell me to do that I actually want to do? Well, sometimes you have to just take measures, man. You know what I mean? Just drink a fucking protein shake.
Does your mom watch your YouTube videos?
No, I don't think so. I think my dad's watched one once. I remember when I was away in Australia or something, Mike messaged me saying, "Dad's watching your videos," and I was like, get him off the computer. Because that was when they were a lot less PG, man. Even now, they're not that PG with like swearing and shit and like talking about some vulgar stuff, but they used to be like me smoking and that.
Do you see the appeal of steroids, pros and cons?
I see the appeal, but just obviously don't think it's worth it, man. Straight up, like, just don't think it's worth it, man. It might be worth it for someone who's genetically damned, or for someone who wants to get to a level like higher than the level that I want to get to. You know what I mean? Then it's worth it, maybe. But then you don't know how susceptible to side effects you're going to be, so you don't know if it's going to be worth it after it. A lot of people probably think it's worth it, get on, get bad side effects, and then think it's not worth it. And others might and ah about it, get on, get no side effects, and be like, yeah, this is fucking well worth it.
What is your favourite food?
Salted egg custard bun.
Wonder what your thoughts on meditation / mindfulness, etc. are?
Thoughts are, I'm sure it can be very beneficial. I should probably do it more. Just do it at all.
Joe, what is the brand, style and supplier of your watches, both the gold and silver link?
Casio's, I'll link them in the description as well.
Is there anything you would change if you could go back to the beginning of your channel / the Delrose channel?
No, man, no.
Joe Delaney is my hero.